Along the shores of the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia and Eritrea stand on the brink of conflict. These nations, bound by history yet divided by past grievances, face a struggle over access to the sea. Ethiopia, landlocked and populous, yearns for a coastline to fuel its economy. Eritrea, fiercely protective of its coast, sees any concession as a threat to its sovereignty. The tension is palpable, with military movements and diplomatic efforts intensifying. The world watches, as the peace once celebrated now seems a distant memory. The fate of millions hangs in the balance, as old wounds threaten to reopen. This is a drama of power and survival, with the potential to reshape a continent. The whispers of war grow louder, as both nations edge closer to a precipice. The Red Sea, a vital artery of global trade, is at the heart of this conflict. Eritrea's coastline, its greatest asset, is a symbol of its hard-won independence. Ethiopia, landlocked and reliant on costly port fees, sees direct sea access as essential. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed frames this as a matter of national survival. Eritrea views Ethiopia's ambitions as a threat, echoing past aggressions. The Red Sea becomes a symbol of a zero-sum game, where one nation's gain is another's loss. The stakes are high, as control over this maritime corridor means immense power. The tension between these nations is a reflection of their contrasting needs. The struggle for the Red Sea is a struggle for identity, survival, and future prosperity. Ethiopia and Eritrea's story is one of brotherhood turned rivalry. Once allies against a common enemy, their relationship soured post-independence. Disputes over borders and trade poisoned their bond, leading to war in 1998. The conflict was brutal, leaving deep scars and a legacy of mistrust. A peace deal awarded the disputed town of Badme to Eritrea, but Ethiopia refused to comply. The nations remained in a tense standoff until 2018, when a historic reconciliation occurred. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's visit to Asmara promised a new era of peace. However, unresolved issues, particularly Ethiopia's need for a port, lingered. The peace was fragile, built on goodwill rather than settled disputes. As tensions rise again, the past threatens to repeat itself. The legacy of blood and betrayal looms large as both nations grapple with their future. The hope for lasting peace remains elusive, overshadowed by historical grievances. The bond of brothers is tested once more as the specter of war looms. The peace of 2023 kan best done, about the and dens, sken, and correction deciding was short-lived as unresolved issues resurfaced. Ethiopia's quest for sea access became a pressing matter, seen as a threat by Eritrea. Military mobilizations and diplomatic tensions escalated, unraveling the fragile peace. Ethiopia's deal with Somaliland for port access further strained regional relations. Somalia's outrage added another layer of conflict, complicating the situation. Eritrea's alliances with Somalia and Egypt deepened, countering Ethiopia's moves. The dream of regional cooperation faded, replaced by competing blocs. The Horn of Africa became a powder keg, with military posturing on all sides. The situation is precarious, as both nations prepare for potential conflict. The unraveling peace highlights the challenges of resolving deep-seated grievances. The region stands on the brink, with the potential for devastating consequences. The fragile peace has given way to a dangerous and uncertain future. The conflict between Ethiopia and Eritrea attracts global attention. Foreign powers, each with strategic interests, influence the Horn of Africa. The UAE, China, and the US all have stakes in the region's stability. The Red Sea corridor is a critical artery for global trade and power. Disinformation campaigns further complicate the situation, fueling tensions. Social media becomes a battleground, spreading false claims and propaganda. The international community calls for peace, but its influence is limited. The Great Game in the Horn is a complex web of interests and alliances. The stakes are high, as the region's future hangs in the balance. The Horn of Africa holds its breath in a tense standoff. Ethiopia and Eritrea's military posturing signals readiness for conflict. Diplomatic efforts continue, but the threat of war looms large. Eritrea's alliances aim to counter Ethiopia's regional influence. The Tigray region, a potential flashpoint, adds to the volatility. The international community's calls for de-escalation have little effect. Nationalism and historical grievances fuel the cycle of escalation. The border is quiet, but the tension is palpable. The standoff is a prelude to an uncertain future. The region stands on the brink, with the potential for devastating consequences. The world watches, hoping for peace but fearing the worst. The struggle between Ethiopia and Eritrea is a profound human tragedy. Ethiopia's quest for the sea is driven by economic necessity and ambition. Eritrea's defense of its coastline is a matter of national identity and sovereignty. The choices before their leaders will shape the region's future. Dialogue and compromise offer a path to shared prosperity. The alternative is a return to conflict, with devastating consequences. The international community can urge peace, but the decision rests with the leaders. The fate of millions hangs on their wisdom or folly. The world hopes for a peaceful resolution as the whispers of war echo. The future remains uncertain as two proud nations face a common horizon.